Hello class 10. Today we will start our fourth unit of physics book, that is electricity and magnetism. It has three parts. Number 1, current electricity. Next, household circuit. And the last part is electromagnetism. The first part, that is current electricity. As the name suggests, we need to study about basically current. Before going to current, let us first discuss about charge. When we are talking about charge, the thing which first comes in our mind is that there are two types of charge, positive charge and negative charge. Positive charge, that is protons, negative charge, that is electrons. Charge is denoted by Q. Small q also you can write, or capital Q also you can write. Both are correct. Charge is denoted by Q. Now coming to the unit of charge. The SI unit of charge is coulomb, denoted as C. Some smaller units are also there. Millicoulomb, microcoulomb, 10 to the power minus 6. 1 nanocoulomb, 10 to the power minus 9 coulomb. So charge on a body is determined by plus minus Ne, where N is the number of electrons and E is the charge on the electron. We know that the value of E is fixed, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. To our basic form, that is current. Now, current is rate of flow of charge. Rate means related, when we are talking about rate, that is related to time. Means flow of charge in a particular time period. Mathematically, we denote current with I. I is equal to charge by time, that is Q by T. Q is N into E by T. If N number of electrons pass through the cross section of a conductor in time T, then the total charge passes through the conductor is Q is equal to N into E. So in place of Q, we can also write N into E by T, and we can find out the current. Now unit of current. In SI, the unit of current is I is equal to Q by T. So Q 1 coulomb, T 1 second in SI. So the SI unit of current is 1 ampere. AMPERE. Make sure the spelling is correct when you are writing the SI unit in the question. If they ask the SI unit, many students here write PH. So don't write that. Write the correct spelling, then only you will get the marks. Now how to define 1 ampere? Simply 1 coulomb by 1 second, that is 1 ampere of current which flows in a conductor when 1 coulomb of charge passes in 1 second. Some smaller units of current are also there. 1 microcoulomb, that is 10 to the power minus 6 ampere. 1 millicoulomb, 10 to the power minus 3 ampere. Quantity. The direction of current in a conductor, we mean that the direction of motion of the electrons are opposite to the conductor. So now moving further, we will discuss about potential. Potential, it is the amount of work done per unit charge in bringing a positive test charge from infinity to that point. Suppose this is a point. Here we are bringing the charge from infinity to that point. The amount of work done per unit charge is what the potential of this point is. That is the potential of this point. It is a scalar quantity. Mathematically, we denote potential with V. V is equal to W by Q. Its unit W 1 joule, Q 1 coulomb. So its unit is joule per coulomb, or 1 volt. We write the unit of potential. Now potential difference. Now to discuss potential difference, we will compare it with potential, so it is more clear for all of you. Potential is the amount of work done in moving a unit test positive charge from infinity to this point. So V is equal to W by Q. Now potential difference is the amount of work done in moving a unit test positive charge from one point to another. Suppose there are 2 points A and B. So the amount of work done from B to A Okay, so suppose VB is the potential at V, point B, and VA is the potential at point A. So this potential difference VV minus VA is equal to W by Q. Now when you will write the definition of unit, that time also make it clear to write properly. When we are writing the definition of unit, so here it will be also 1 volt, here also it will be 1 volt, the unit. But for definition it is different. The potential at a point is said to be 1 volt when 1 joule of work is done in bringing 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to that point. But the potential difference for you are writing, when you are writing the unit of potential difference, here you have to write the potential difference between 2 points is said to be 1 volt if work done in moving 1 coulomb of charge from one point to another is 1 joule. These two things keep in mind while writing the unit of potential and potential difference. Now moving on to the next topic. In simple word, it's obstacle or the obstruction offered to flow of the current. Now, before going to resistance anymore, conductor, semiconductor and insulator, we'll talk about this. Conductors, that are the materials that permits electrons to flow freely from a particle. So conductors allow the charges transfer because it has less resistance. Conductors are less resistance, semiconductors a little bit more than the conductors. Here resistivity is little bit more. But in case of insulator, maximum resistance to the flow of current. Hence, current is not able to flow through insulators. Now, causes of resistance. For this, suppose we have taken a metal wire, which is a conductor. So, it contains equal number of protons and electrons. Here, we are representing protons with this positive sign and electrons with the dot. When the wire is not connected with the battery, what happens to it? Because of there is no potential difference applied to the wire, so electrons move randomly in their desired directions. They are moving in zigzag directions. Now, when this metal wire is connected to the cell, so when the potential difference is applied to it, here we will get a positive terminal, that side we will get a negative terminal. That means we can also write that this side is high potential, and at the point B, suppose this is A and B, so at the point B we have low potential area and at point A we have high potential area. So when a potential difference is applied to the metal wire, ends of the metal wire are connected to a cell. When the potential difference is applied across the ends of the metal wire, the electrons inside experience a force in the direction from end at a negative potential difference, that is low potential, to the high potential. Due to the force, their speed increases, but during the movement, when they will come to this positive terminal, that is positive ions, during this movement, it loses some kinetic energy, due to which their speed decreases. Again it will gain the speed from the low potential region, and this process will continue. Again accelerated towards the positive terminal due to the existence of potential difference, so their speed again increases, and then again in collision with the positive ions their speed decreases. This process continues. As a result, the electrons do not move in a bulk with a continuous increasing speed, but there is a drift of electrons towards the positive terminals. Thus, a metal wire offers some resistance to the flow of electrons through it. A German scientist, Georg Simon Ohm, by his experiment found a relationship between potential difference and current in a conductor. This relationship is stated in the form of a law known as Ohm's law. And according to his statement, the current flowing in the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its end, provided that the physical condition and the temperature of the conductor remains constant. So I is directly proportional to V. So when we remove this proportionality, there is a constant, and this constant is denoted as capital R, which is called the resistance of a conductor. So we will find the unit of the resistance, that is unit of V by unit of I. Unit of V is 1 volt by 1 ampere. So from here we can define 1 ohm. The resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm if 1 ampere current flows through it when a potential difference of 1 volt is applied across the ends of the conductor. Now conductance. Just reciprocal of resistance is conductance. It is denoted by the letter G and its unit is ohm inverse. And this is IV graph for a metallic conductor. The ratio of V by I is constant, as you can see in the graph. A straight line is there. So that means if V will be 10, then I will be also 10, or V by I will be del I by del V. We can calculate as the slope of this graph, and which is also is equal to 1 by resistance of the conductor. Only limitation of Ohm's law is that when the temperature of the conductor remains constant. Only this is the limitation. Ohm's law is obeyed only when the temperature of a conductor remains constant. Now, factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. So it depends on 4 factors. Number 1 is the material of the conductor. Different material have different concentration of free electrons, and therefore the resistance of a conductor depends on its material. Metals such as silver, copper, aluminum, etc. have a concentration of free electrons in their decreasing order. So their identical voids offers resistance in the increasing order. Next is length of the conductor. Length of the conductor is directly proportional. That is, a long conductor, that is number of collision of the free electrons with the positive ions, will be more as compared to the shorter one. So a longer conductor offers more resistance. Suppose you are going through a road with this much length. Here few cars are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose it is 5 meter. So while going we are facing 5 obstacles. So if we increase the length, hence the obstacle will also increase. So resistance is directly proportional to the length. The thickness of the conductor. In a thick conductor, electrons get a larger area of cross section to flow as compared to a thin conductor. Therefore, a thick conductor offers a less resistance. The resistance of a conductor is inversely proportional to its area. It is inversely proportional to the area. So whenever the area of cross section is more, the thickness will be, resistance will be less. So whenever the area cross section is more, resistance will be less. If the radius of the wire is of same length is doubled, its resistance becomes 1/4. If the radius is tripled, the resistance becomes 1/9 and so on. So now the next one, last one, is dependence on the temperature of the conductor. With the increase in temperature of the conductor, the random motion of the electrons increases in between the wire. As a result, the number of collision of electrons with the positive ions increases, and hence the resistance of the conductor increases with an increase in temperature. So these are the 4 factors on which the resistance depends. First one is the material of the conductor. Length of the conductor, directly proportional. When length increases, resistance also increases. Thickness of the conductor, or that is inversely proportional to the area of the wire. Next is the last one, temperature. As the temperature increases, resistance also increases. Now, specific resistance or resistivity. Now, specific resistance or resistivity. Experimentally, We know that R is directly proportional to L. Mark it as equation number 1. And R is inversely proportional to area. Or we can also write pi R square. Mark it as equation number 2. So where R is the radius of the wire. This small r is the radius of the wire. Pi R square. Combining these two, we can write R is directly proportional to L by R is proportional to L by A. Here we know that when we remove our proportionality, a constant will come. Here the constant is specific resistivity, denoted as rho. Specific resistivity. So R is equal to rho L by A. Instead of L by A, we can also write L by pi R square. So specific resistivity is equal to R into A by L. When we will make this A and L 1, then specific resistivity is equal to resistance. That is, specific resistivity of a material is resistance of the wire of that material of unit length and of unit cross section area. Unit of specific resistivity, for R it is ohm, for A it is meter square, length into breadth, that is meter square, and for L it is meter. So meter and meter square got cancelled, hence ohm into meter, or ohm meter also we can write as the unit of specific resistance. Few factors are there on which this specific resistance depends, affecting the specific resistance. The specific resistance of a substance is its characteristics property. It is different for different substance. It is very low for metals, almost equivalent to 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. Low for semiconductors, that is almost equivalent to 10 to the power minus 5 ohm meter, and but very high for insulators, that is 10 to the power minus 13 ohm meter. Now this specific resistance depends also on its temperature, that is it increases with the increase in temperature for metals, but it decreases with the increase in temperatures for semiconductors. Now conductivity. The reciprocal of specific resistance is known as conductivity. It is represented by the symbol sigma, this, or 1 by rho, reciprocal of it, or L by R into A also we can write. Its SI unit is ohm inverse, meter inverse. A superconductor is a substance of zero resistance or infinite conductance at a very low temperature. The superconductors are not in common use since it is very difficult to achieve such a low temperature. However, they can be useful if it is possible to obtain them at room temperature. The size of superconductors could then be reduced to a few centimeters, and the power lines could then be made as thin as a single wire.